Hello again, fourth grade, and welcome to lesson 5-10. This is the last lesson in topic 5. We're going to talk about modeling with math. So when we're talking about modeling with math, we're talking about ways to show how we can solve a problem. Let's go ahead and watch our short lesson video, and then we're going to get into our notes.
How can you apply math you know to solve problems?
Let's find out.
A class is making decorations using same-size straws. They use the straws to make triangles, squares, pentagons, and hexagons. One package of straws is used for each group of polygons with the same number of sides. How many decorations can the class make? What information do you know? How many sides do each of the shapes have?
Okay, so here stop and think about all of the information they gave you. They said they're using one of those boxes for each kind of shape. So they have 1,500 straws for each of the different kinds of shapes they're going to make. So they said triangles, squares, pentagons, and hexagons. So think about how many sides each of those shapes have. Triangles, have 3. Squares have 4. Pentagons have 5, and hexagons have 6. So if each one of those shapes is going to have its own box of straws, we need to figure out how to solve this problem.
The class is using 1,500 straws to make as many decorations as they can of each shape. They are making triangles, 3 sides, squares, 4 sides, pentagons, 5 sides, and hexagons, 6 sides. Think, what math can I use to solve the problem? I need to divide to find how many decorations can be made from one box of straws. Think, how can I model with math? I can use previously learned concepts and skills, find and answer any hidden questions, decide if my results make sense. What hidden questions must be answered first? Some hidden questions are, how many sides does each shape have? How many triangles can the class make? How many squares? How many pentagons? How many hexagons? What operation can you use to find how many of each shape decoration the class can make? You can use division to find the number of triangles, squares, pentagons, and hexagons the class can make. Here's my thinking. Each polygon has a different number of sides. I will divide 1,500 straws by the number of sides for each polygon. If T represents the number of triangles, which equation could you use to find T?
Select your answer.
So here, stop and think. We know a triangle has 3 sides. And if we're going to use one of these boxes just for triangles, we're going to have 1,500 straws divided into groups of 3 is going to equal T, our number of triangles. Because we're splitting them, we need to pull out equal groups of 3 each time for each triangle. So the equation we're going to use is T, the number of triangles, is equal to 1,500 divided by 3.
I will use T equals 1,500 divided by 3 to find the number of triangles. I will use similar equations to find the number of each of the other polygons. 1,500 divided by 3 equals 500 triangles. 1,500 divided by 4 equals 375 squares. 1,500 divided by 5 equals 300 pentagons. 1,500 divided by 6 equals 250 hexagons. I will add all the decorations together. 500 plus 375 plus 300 plus 250 equals 1,425. The class can make 1,425 decorations. Now you see how you can apply math you know to solve problems.
All right, so now that we've gone through our short lesson video, let's go ahead and get into our notes and talk about these different ways that we can model with math. Now, one of the first things we want to keep in mind is, how do we do that? How do we model with math? What sort of things can we use to help us figure out the right way to do something? So we can use strategies and skills that we already know. You can use known facts, basic facts. You can use fact families. You can use patterns, anything that you've seen before and have used before. You can draw. All of these are different ways that you can go about solving these problems. You can find and answer any hidden questions. This is very important because if you come across a question, just like this last one that we talked about in the video, there are a lot of hidden questions, little pieces of things that you need to find out first before you can solve your question or the whole question. Then you need to decide if your answer makes sense. And you can do this by checking your work or using the inverse operation in order to double check and see if you find yourself back at your original number. Now, you can also annotate your questions, which is a thing that I've talked about with you guys a lot. Annotating your questions will help you to quickly find all of the important information in your word problems or your story problems. So circle the numbers and the important information, underline what you're being asked to do or what you're being asked to solve, and then move forward with the solution. Now I'm going to give you an example question here, and we're going to work it out together. We're going to solve it one piece at a time. My example question says, Alan set a goal to do at least 120 minutes of outdoor activities each week. He made a list of each activity and the amount of time he spends doing it every week. The same amount of time is spent every day doing the activities. Is he spending enough time on outdoor activities to meet his goal? How can you solve? So let's annotate. I already started. So I circled 120 minutes and he wants to do that each week. Now remember, a week is how much? A week is going to be 7 days, right? So that's one thing that we need to pay attention to. We're going to be splitting it into 7. He made a list of each activity and the amount of time he spends doing it every week. The same amount of time is spent every day doing the activities. So this is important information right here. We know that they're already in equal amounts. Here's our question part. Is he spending enough time on outdoor activities to meet his goal? How can you solve? So we annotated our question. Now we can easily see that he wants to do 120 minutes each week. So 120 minutes for each day of the week. So each week has 7 days. He needs to do 120 minutes each of those 7 days, Monday to Friday. We know he spends the same amount of time doing these activities every day. Now I need to stop and think, what is my hidden question? Well, I want to do, this is how much he does for 7 days. So for 7 days, in 7 days, he spends 200 minutes on soccer. He spends 150 minutes bicycling, 300 minutes walking, and 75 minutes running. So if I know that each day he's spending an equal amount, what I can do is I can add these, and I know that's how much he spent for the entire week. If I want to find out how much it is for each day of the week, then we need to divide it by 7. So let's go ahead and add our numbers. So if I have 200 plus 150 plus 300 plus 75. That's 5, 7 and 5 is 12. So I'm going to put my 2, carry my 1. 1 and 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. plus 3 more is 7. So total, he spent a total of 725 minutes doing outdoor activities. So over here, let me make this more clear. Each day of the week. So now that I know how many minutes he spent in 7 days, I need to figure out how much he spends in 1 day. So now I need to take the 725 and I need to divide it by 7. So 7 goes into 700 how many times? We know it goes into it 100 times. So I'm going to put it over the hundreds place. And I'm going to subtract off my 700 and I'm going to be left with 25. 7 goes into 25 how many times? So we know 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is going to be 21. And 7 times 4 is 28. So we can't go up to 4. So 7 times 3 is going to be 21. So we know over here we had 100 and 7 goes into 25 3 times. That's going to be minus 21. And we're going to be left with 4. So over here we can put together our partial quotients. So he spends 103 minutes on average each day. So is he spending enough time doing outdoor activities to meet his goal? And we have to go back and look. His goal was 120 minutes. Is he meeting his goal over here if he's only doing 103 minutes each day with an extra 4 minutes on one of the days? No. He is not meeting his goal. Of 120 minutes per day. So I answered the question, is he spending enough time doing outdoor activities? No, he's not. How can you solve? So the first thing I did was I added all of the minutes he spends doing these activities. Then I divided it by 7 because I wanted to figure out how many minutes he's spending each day of that week doing those activities to see if it does meet his goal. Now for our guided practice, I copied down the question that you guys have in your book. The information they give you says Miguel is going camping with 3 friends. He packed sandwiches for everyone to share equally. How many sandwiches did Miguel pack for each camper? So we know that he packed 12 ham sandwiches, 8 cheese sandwiches, and 20 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So let's go ahead and annotate over here. We know he's camping with 3 friends. He packed sandwiches for everyone to share equally, right? How many sandwiches did Miguel pack for each camper? And here's our information. In your book, they give you pictures with captions next to them. I just put them in a data table like this. Now, the first part says, what hidden question do you need to solve first? Write and solve an equation to find the answer and tell what your variable represents. So first, I need to figure out, well, how many sandwiches did he pack all together? So let's stop and think. My first hidden question is, so how many total sandwiches did he pack? Then it says, write and solve an equation and tell what your variable represents. So we're going to say T is the total. Okay, so T is equal to 12 plus 8 plus 20. Or you could say T is equal to H plus C plus B if you want to do ham sandwiches, cheese sandwiches, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So it told us to write and solve our equation. So what hidden question do you need to solve first? Write and solve an equation to find the answer. tell what your variable represents. So you have three things to do. Here's number 1, number 2, number 3. So I know I did the first part, I did the second part, now I need to do the third part. So I wrote what it represents, now I need to solve. I know 12 plus 8 is going to give me 20, plus 20 more is going to equal 40. So Miguel packs a total of 40 sandwiches. Okay, now the bottom part, number 2 says complete the bar diagram, write and solve an equation to find the number of sandwiches S for each camper. So now we know what our total is. Our total up here is 40. We need to figure out how he's going to share them between his 3 friends. Or sorry, he's going camping with, it's Miguel and 3 friends. Miguel and 3 friends, so it's going to be 4 people altogether. And this is why I originally drew it bigger, and then I second guessed myself. So all together, Miguel and his 3 friends, so that's 4 people altogether. Now we need to divide 40 into 4 equal groups. So I can say 40 divided by 4 equals S, because it said find the number of sandwiches S. They told us what variable we want to use. We're packed for each camper. So 40 divided by 4 is equal to S. Now you can think of this using your related facts, and you can say 4 times S is equal to 40. And you know that 4 times 10 is equal to 40. So each one of these campers are going to get 10 sandwiches. Each camper will get 10 sandwiches. So when you go to solve, you'll be able to split it 10 in each group equal 40. And if you want to check your work, 4 times 10 equals 40. So 40 divided by 4 is going to equal 10. We did our inverse operation, we used our related facts, and we were able to solve our problem. This takes you to the end of your guided practice for this last lesson. Please go over all of your notes very carefully before you get to the test. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.